Welcome to Bangkok ChitChat, soon to be called Thailand ChitChat because they're more than Bangkok. And we've got the Pattaya Report today with Craig McAvenny. We'll go to him in a moment. We'll be talking about the Ukraine situation, how it affects Thailand, also regards to visas, and what's actually happening in Pattaya. Some stories about that. So please tune in. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Please also share, that helps us a great deal. And if you've got any comments, whether on what we're discussing, or if you've got any thoughts on what you'd like us to discuss, please let us know. So, as you can see, we've got our new studio. Nice and bright, happier because it's been a miserable couple of years. Actually, it's not the studio, it's just our background within our green screen studio. So, let's just get going. How's it going, Craig?
Yeah, it's going fine, thank you, Andrew. And as I was just saying to you before off air, I think the background looks fantastic. Great colour scheme there with my club, the West Ham colours, and the beautiful blue sea as well. Looks nice. So yeah, as you say, brighter backgrounds. Hopefully, brighter future for Pattaya over the next few months and longer term.
Maybe we can just start off with the new visa situation, which has arisen. Yeah, and as always, check please, because things can change quite frequently here. So what's the visa situation just now?
As in the entry. I mean, my understanding is that when you arrive now, you only have to do the day one stay in the partner hotel. With the test for COVID, and then you can go out and enjoy the rest of your holiday. I think one of the issues that was before was that they were also asking you to spend day 5 in a hotel, which you might be a little bit nervous when you're out and about days 2, 3, and 4, socializing with people, because of course if you catch COVID, then you end up being forced to stay for 10 days. And with the Omicron variant, my understanding is that there's a good majority of the people are asymptomatic, so you wouldn't know, So that's good news. It's good news that the people only need to do one day at a hotel rather than coming back for day 5 and run the risk of being isolated there, and indeed just the general hassle of having to do that.
Yeah, so I mean, I think everyone should be aware that there are certain prerequisites before you leave. Yeah, so follow up that on the embassy websites. I believe you've got to have a test 3 days beforehand. Yeah, and complete a few forms, and then you can arrive. Yeah, so yeah, that's good news. What we've also been seeing though is I saw within Pattaya that, because of the terrible situation in Ukraine, and now with the no-fly zones for US and also with Europe, there's some Russians and Ukrainians, the innocent victims of the politicians, that they're having problems not only getting money, transferred money, but also with their visa, with their credit cards, and also getting flights back. Yeah. Now, this is just what's being reported, and of course that's going to be more of a problem later on. That leads back to Thailand as well, with the visas and things like that. I mean, within Pattaya, it's probably similar to Koh Samui, where the Russians account for 10% of the tourists. That is going to be an influx of Russians and Ukrainians, or they're going to be an exodus, but a lot can't leave. So there seems to be problems within that area. Yeah.
I'm wondering whether Thailand will accept many of them if they try to claim asylum, or like they've been doing in Poland and these sort of places if they're here. But I guess that's not something that I've heard about. But yeah, I mean, I noticed that just as things were starting to get back to normal, I went to a couple of events at various hotels, certainly up in the Nakula way, where there tends to be quite a strong sort of Russian and, Eastern European clientele. And I had noticed that a lot of the guests were Russians. So So yeah, I'm sure this is a tricky situation. I'll be honest, I don't actually know any scenarios as to how it's working, as you say, whether flights have been sort of actually stopped. I have read some things about, like you say, some of their financial issues because Mastercard, I believe, have pulled out, and possibly Visa. So of course, if you
Swift as well. They're talking about blocking, but I'm not sure that's complete at this point. Yeah, I mean it's quite early days on the conflict as much as the total tragedy it is. Yeah, but yeah, we just don't know, how that's going to roll out and effect. Like everything else, bureaucracy takes time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, one thing of interest, just sort of, without one to sort of sound like the insurance salesman, but we did have a couple of our providers that we deal with who had this is obviously in Ukraine rather than the other way around. People who were stuck in Ukraine who chartered planes and went and got people out because, of course, they had a good enough insurance which had repatriation on it. Again, perhaps those that have very strong insurances, there would have been a way for the insurance companies to have assisted. But I don't know. I suppose if you were in their circumstances and you were Russian, and okay, the money side of things is a tricky one if you can't get access to your funds. But if you can, then you'd rather stay, I think, wouldn't you, than go back?
Yeah. And from the Ukrainian side, especially for the males, if they're 18 and 30, they must join the resistance. It's a whole very sad situation. I mean, the world's falling apart. I mean, we've got COVID, which destroyed us for the past 2 years. One big worry outside the normal worries of just living and being an adult, and then you've got the situation with Ukraine, with the possible threat and conspiracy theories, which will be developing in droves. Yeah, and the woes of the possibilities. But I mean, your heart goes out to the people, because it's the people that get hurt. It's just the military, etc. They're enacting what they're paid to do, basically, and the politicians. But yeah, so as much as we think we should have this, we think you should have that, etc. At the end of the day, it's the people that get hurt. All they want to do is sit down, watch the telly, have a dinner, have a happy family, and that's it. But we won't go into all the political side. One thing with regards to Thailand, as I've reported in the newspaper, is that they at the present time they're taking a neutral stance. They're not saying they're supporting or against. Yeah. So the European Union representatives, ambassadors, visited the Thai government and asked them to condemn this, and they've said no. But that's really been what Thailand's done, even during the Second World War. Yeah, they were neutral, and then they went with the side that was winning, and then they pulled away. They've tried to keep out of the problems, and they're saying they're following an ASEAN policy. Yeah. Everybody to their own. Yeah. So let's maybe discuss about other things. I heard some good news about Saudi Arabia, which is nice to have.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, it's 32 years, was it, that the first time an airline has come in? Is this got something to do with a story I read many, many years ago about some jewellery or something,
Correct.
or some jewels that were stolen, and so the diplomatic ties between the two countries have been somewhat fractured for a number of years, and presumably they've been mended enough now to get direct flights. And yeah, as you say, that's got to be a positive thing. I mean, certainly down in Pattaya, the Arab communities are important tourists. I mean, down in South Pattaya area now, there's large nightclubs and areas for the shisha smoking and guest houses and hotels.
Shisha smoking's illegal, isn't it?
Well, I mean, there's millions of things in Thailand that are illegal that still happen. So I don't think the legality of things is relevant, really, is it? But ultimately, there is a situation where you have a lot of Arab tourists, and without showing my ignorance, perhaps, but obviously I wouldn't be able to identify where these people are from, whether they're Iranians or they're from the UAE or wherever they're from. But clearly, Saudi Arabia is a big country, and
I'm just wondering,
a comparatively wealthy country.
Saudi Arabia, there's a story my father told me many years ago, and he was at a resort in Scotland, yeah, and he was doing some work with some people there, and when he was there at a resort, yeah, there was a Saudi Arabian guy that was jogging, and it was pouring down with rain. Oh, it was Scotland, yeah, pouring down with rain, no sun, yeah, and windy and just cold. And he said to the guy, "Why are you running?" And he says, "Well, this is like you going to the tropics. We don't get this in Saudi Arabia. It's fantastic." And I went, "Oh, that makes sense." But then you're talking about Saudi Arabians coming to Thailand. They're not supposed to drink. They're not exactly going to go on the beach, yeah. So for the sand. So what are they going to do?
I think
Or is
we
that a
all
stupid
know
question?
that,
Yeah.
you know, once again, you know, it's not. I mean, the Saudi Arabians. I mean, again, I don't know much about the country to comment, but I'm pretty sure there's plenty of Saudi guys out there that are going to come to Pattaya and enjoy the same things that
Yeah.
all other nationalities do. You know, they're not allowed to drink in their own country, but I mean, no one's going to stop them drinking down in Walking Street, or well, Walking Street, as we know, unfortunately, looks like it's almost, you know, going to struggle to come back. But in that area, you know, so I don't know. I mean, but it's got to be a good thing, as you say, because ultimately, whether or not it's Saudi men coming for that side of thing, or whether it's you know, families which are going to come as Pattaya, you know, pushes towards the family friendly approach, then it's a good thing, because I hear that Saudi is, you know, is developing as a nation at the moment, and also like we said before, comparatively rich, and so if they come and spend some money, that's all good.
Well, if they're predicting about 200,000 of Saudi nationals visiting Thailand this year. Okay, on the COVID situation, to try and go through this part quickly. Recently, they talked about 1,275 tests confirmed, yeah, positive within Pattaya, yeah. Within Thailand, it was 22,311 confirmed, and there was 42 deaths. So it has quite dramatically increased from the 5,000 in late January, because basically I think it's because the holidays coming that were there, the New Year holidays and Chinese New Year, yeah, at the beginning of February. So there's a big ramp up there. But what's great to see is that Pattaya is 90% fully vaccinated. That's what the report is. So, you know, tourist areas are very much, let's say, vaccinated. Doesn't mean you don't get it, yeah, but just less symptoms. Which means if people are getting it less, that means obviously that the spread is going to be less. We hope, yeah. How are you seeing in Pattaya? Are people still observing the rules?
To be honest, I've forgotten what the rules are. I mean,
Well, the
as far
masks
as
and things
being
like
asked,
that, social distancing.
I mean, I think you know quite a few of the bars down in Pattaya, and the way the patrons go about their drinking habits, and then social distancing isn't something that springs to mind in a lot of these bars. The thing about the having to show a test, I've been out a couple of times recently, and I haven't been asked anywhere to show a negative test. Whilst that was a completely arbitrary, useless waste of time anyway, because there was no way of checking, or no one bothered checking when that test was done. You know, no one's asking those questions anymore, from what I can gather. I think there's a few kind of, you know, people you might see placemats on the bar, which is kind of feeding into this idea that we're supposed to be a restaurant. But I think you've just got to take each day as it comes. I mean, very sadly, one of the things that some of the bar owners are coming up against now is the law in Thailand. As you said before about, you know, it's against the law to do this. You'd know this as well. It's always been illegal to drink between 2 and 5 in the afternoon. Not just in buying from 7-Eleven, which is the one place that it actually,
And near
you know,
schools,
you cannot do
yeah,
it.
that's right.
But,
Yeah.
but you're not even in bars or restaurants. You know, there is a law which says that. But of course, it's never ever been enforced. And unfortunately, now I'm hearing about some bar owners and restaurant owners who are, you know, are getting knocks on the door, and that's being used as a reason for you know, for breaking the law, and you know, a fine and whatever. So, you know, I find it all a little bit sad that people are getting punished even more. As far as what happens behind the scenes with these bars, again, I don't know. I don't have a bar. I don't have a restaurant. I think we all know there's a certain system which you plug into when you break laws, and that's whatever they're doing, because trying to be logistical about it and say, oh, well, is this place a restaurant? Well, no, it's not. Is this place doing social distancing? No, it's not. Is this place supposed to ask for a test? Yes. Is it? No. Pool tables is another one. Apparently pool tables at the moment, not only you're not allowed to play pool in bars, although you are allowed to play pool in pool halls, but you can actually get fined by not having your pool table covered.
Wow,
so all
okay.
of these, I mean, it's quite unfair in many ways. They're bringing in all these laws, and quite frankly, it's just purely leverage to to when people break them, to be able to come to some kind of compromise.
Yeah. For want of a better word.
I mean, putting
Okay,
it
yeah,
as
I think
diplomatically as I
that's
can, so. And then the same with the 2 till 5 rule. I mean, that is breaking the law. That law has been broken for generations, probably every single day. Right now, it's probably the busiest time down in certain areas of Pattaya that people are drinking. But sadly, some people are finding themselves in trouble for doing so. And occasionally, I've gone into a bar and been asked to drink out of the covered cup again at that time. So.
yeah. So
Yeah,
what
a
about the
bit.
general sentiment just down there? Are people in, let's say, walking along the street wearing masks, or are they a lot of people ignoring it?
Yeah, well, people have their mask with them, don't they? Because I mean, when you go into somewhere, whether again it's a shopping mall or a 7-Eleven or something, or a restaurant, when you walk in, I think it's expected that you have a mask. Um, Wearing it in the street, I guess some do. I mean, some have it around their necks, some have it, around their wrists.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things you've got to carry, haven't you? Now it's just because certain places still require you to wear them. But clearly, once you're in a bar or a restaurant and you're eating and drinking, then of course masks.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. That's
You
right.
can't eat and drink with a mask on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's time to move on. I think we've all recognised that, and whilst whatever the situation was before with COVID, like you said before, 90% plus vaccinated, that provides protection for people. So we need to stop letting the bars and businesses suffer. And to be fair, I think that is what they've done. They've categorically said that there's not going to be another lockdown. Easing the rules, not at Pattaya level, but at national level, about people coming in.
Well,
I think
I noticed one thing that recently that they announced that the Pattaya Music Festival had been cancelled because of the surging numbers. Yeah, is that correct?
yeah, I saw that. I mean, it's not something that I would particularly follow. And again, my understanding was that when they had the previous festival, the case numbers were a lot higher than they were now. But hey, somebody's decided that that's the thing to do. I mean, events are still happening. I mean, there's probably a rule somewhere which says, there may be restricted numbers, etc. For instance, I do quite a bit with the various chambers of commerce, and they have their sort of monthly events down there. And from what I can gather, they don't appear to be any different to what they were previously. Perhaps there is a restriction on numbers, and like you say, an occasional kind of X sticker with an X on a table, which no one is paying the blindest bit of attention to. But I mean, it seems to be, yeah. I mean, my world, my events that I've been going to, me going into my office, going to my local bar, going to the restaurants I like, I'm not seeing anything.
The recent story I read, which was a Chonburi police warn of a woman's underwear thief on the loose in the Bang Sen area. It says about 6:50 p.m. on February 27th, a male thief stole a total of 12 women's panties that were hanging on the clothesline to dry in front of the house before speeding away. This is the third time that underwear has been stolen in the area, and based on speaking to neighbours in the community, explained B. I'm afraid that this person may be disturbed, a disturbed individual. He needs to be quickly caught. Maybe it's wait a minute. This is a guy that stole knickers. Yeah, I mean, number one, yeah, it's surprising in that level. But couldn't it be a woman that stole knickers? Why does it have to be a bloke? It'd make more sense if a woman stole the knickers and the bras.
I think that's one of those, like on the news when it would be the last story of the day, just to make people smile. I think that's why that becomes news at the end of the day. I mean, certainly, even if he liked wearing, and he was a man, and he liked wearing female underwear.
You're going red there, Craig. Have I touched on a raw nerve?
12 pairs, I think, is a little bit overboard. Or he might be sharing them with his friend, or he might have, although it was a bit late for Valentine's Day, he might have been, getting them for his partner, maybe putting them in a nice box and pretending they were new.
Soiled knickers. I suppose one thing is they weren't soiled, they were washed. So at least you'd get away with that.
Well, yeah, who knows? I think we should move on from this. I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay. All right. So the other thing is Pattaya News, where we get some of our information, and we also get information from Pattaya Mail. So thank you very much for them. Pattaya News did a talk back, they call it, yeah, and they said if you had 3 tips for new expats moving to Pattaya to succeed, what would they be? So before I sort of give some examples of some of the answers they got, what would your 3 tips be if you were intending to move to Pattaya?
I suppose there's always the different aspects as to why you're moving. Of course, if you're moving with kids and you're moving, to go to a job, of course, location and where you live near to the schools and picking the right schools for your kids. If it's an international school, then you want to be in a place where it's easy access. If you're a retiree, of course, it's different again. But I think generally speaking, I mean, the 3 things I'd look at is take your time, to find the area you like. If it's going to make it your home for the rest of your days, or certainly a longer term. There's that many different areas to Pattaya, even possibly further afield. Bang Sarai is becoming more popular now, and the transport links and everything are easy. You've got Wongamat up in the north, Nakula, central Pattaya, over what we call the dark side, Mapachan Lake, all these different areas. And they all have, aspects that some people will like and aspects that others won't. So I think the key thing would be to take a year, don't rush into buying anywhere, travel around, find the area that you like, because there's that many different places. If you are here longer term, of course, get some insurance. And again, without sounding like a health insurance salesman, it is an important thing to have. If you got sick, you don't want to be waiting around in these government hospitals. You want to make sure that you're visiting a doctor and everything's as comfortable as it can be. But yeah, I mean, retirees, again, the other thing, again, I know it sounds a bit worky, me saying this, because it's what I do with the retirement planning, but also, have an income in different currencies. I mean, you ask anyone who's British, who had fixed interest or fixed income pension pre-Brexit, and then bang, 25% overnight, their spending power disappeared. So having some income in different currencies, I think, is important, and possibly Thai baht as well. But that all depends on the situation. So I think they would be my tips, really. I mean, I think. What were the ones that came up? Right, you sprung this on me today. I didn't know about this, so that was kind of off the top of my head. As I say, I was kind of saying, take your time to find somewhere to live. Obviously, get insurance, and then depending on whether you're retired or whether you're working, schools and currencies. Well,
there was a variety. One says if you come to retire to stay to retire, do not dabble with running bars or cafes. You can rent a house on the edge of town, walking distance, for less than a premium condo in the centre. If you're looking for a long-term girlfriend, avoid young girls. Go for a mature lady with an education. And then another one says, don't buy a house, don't get married, avoid dogs. That one says, watch your wallet, watch your step, don't trust anyone. All right, okay. If you're coming to Pattaya to make a fortune, make sure you come with a big one.
Well, Well, yeah, that's an old saying,
Get
isn't
out
it?
of
But I mean,
holiday mode quickly. Everything in moderation. Never loan money to anyone. Take up hobbies like fitness, etc. Do that every day.
well, yeah, I think that would be something I would have added there as well. Of course, everyone has hobbies, and that again feeds into the taking your time to find where you live. I mean, I think there are vibrant social clubs around many different sports in Patty. If you
Yeah.
like to play bowls, if you like to do archery, if you whatever you like to do, it's all there for you. Swimming, whatever. So generally speaking, you tend to get on with people that are into the same kind of things as you, don't you? So,
Yeah.
if you do a member of a bowls club in the UK, where is the bowls club in Pattaya? Go and join it, go and live near the bowls club, become friends. The golf, obviously, if you're a golfer, golf is fantastic in Thailand, and there's lots of different ways to meet people through the golf scene. I mean, I believe at one point there was over 50 bars running golf societies. Sure, that would have fallen off somewhat, but I think we're starting to head back towards normality there, and certainly I couldn't tell you a number, but I reckon there's probably 30 or 40 now that are back up and running. So yeah, it's basically
Well,
that. And as
here's
I say,
another
just
one.
take the year though. The biggest mistake people make is they try to buy too quickly. They try to rush into things, and I think a year is a good enough time to find your way about. You might not even like Patty. You might decide Hua Hin. You might decide Chiang Mai. You might want to live in Bangkok as well.
There's something for everybody in Thailand, and I think with the visa situation, I just get a feeling, this even the 90-day rule just now. I did my 90-day report online, and it was fantastic. It was actually worked. That's why it was fantastic. It was supposed to do what it was supposed to do years ago. But that's a negative. But what the one guy was saying, don't listen to negative comments. It's a great place to be. Another one said, if you take away three things, beers, girls, and smoking, you can make it, but then it's not so much fun. So that was his comment. Now the editor, Adam, who's a lovely guy, yeah. He said, one, you can live on a lot less than you think. Budget for that. You are not on holiday. You are living here. Second one was relax. You move here likely to enjoy life. Don't get caught up in petty squabbles between expats online. Be kind, be patient, pick your battles, and adopt my pen Rai attitude, especially for minor issues at businesses or problems. And then the third one was get out of your comfort zone. Pattaya is so much more than bars and has tons to do, as well as outside the city for about 3-hour radius. So yeah, that was probably the most sensible set of three comments from all the others they got. But
well, pretty much what I was saying there about the finding, the interests, people that have mutual interests that you have, and you can find it all in Pattaya. You can find groups that are interested in what you're interested in, and you'd probably be quite surprised again at the quality of what you've got there. I mean, if, the clubs, like I said, a bit like what Adam mentioned there, about there are that many things to do, go and find them, and you'll meet lots of people. I think the other thing, the Pattaya thing is, there is a wide spectrum of people here. Lots and lots of different people, and of course, as you say, it's the few noisy ones that like making the negative comments and all the expat Facebook sites and all the rest of it, who are a small minority. I find both in terms of my social life in Pattaya and my business life and the golf and everything else, the people that I associate with are good people and a good laugh. And as I say, these people that, what do they call them, trolls, is it, that just sort of sit behind computers and like making comments. Bear in mind that these are a minor percentage of the people in Pattaya. In fact, there's probably about 20 of them that make these comments, and I believe we've got 20,000 expats. So,
do you think with the sort of change of marketing and also I think things may go back to what they were before. Pattaya is a more attractive place to come to now, or is it just the same as before, or what?
I think it's got potential to get back and as you say, make it a more attractive. I mean, we've talked in the past about about the regeneration of the front and making that more family friendly, and then having the more zoning with the girly bars and that type of thing, which I think is a longer term is a good idea. There's still a lot of infrastructure money coming in, I think, with the new bullet train and a lot of investment in the Eastern Seaboard as a general place. That said, some parts of it are looking a bit tired. There has been, of course, a hit when it comes to bars being closed down, restaurants being closed, condominiums that are probably occupied at low rates of residency. So there's a bit of a tired aspect there, I think, to it. And I think obviously people are not going to go full bore and invest money until we've got that certainty that people are going to come back. So I know that sounds a bit like I'm on the fence there, but I kind of am at this moment in time. I still believe longer term, you're going to find that the Pattaya will succeed over the next 2 or 3 years. If I was speaking to someone about an investment and I talked about Hua Hin or Samui perhaps as a better investment in the sort of short term, 2 to 3 years than Pattaya, perhaps yes,
right.
But longer term, definitely Pattaya, because of its sheer size and the fact that its infrastructure can be regenerated again, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, I think there's also the fact that Eastern Seaboard is going to be developed. There's huge investment in that. They're looking at opening up another industrial park and expanding Mataput. Yeah, as far as investment's concerned, I think possibly not looking at it from the tourism perspective, but also as a place to stay. Yeah. If you're looking to buy a property near these areas, yeah, maybe that's like Bang Saray and beyond. Yeah. Maybe that's something to look at. But anyway, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Just now, everyone's living day by day. Businesses are getting by. Some businesses are doing really, really well. Maybe in the tourism side, obviously not. Yeah, there's a big push to remove all the requirements for COVID. Bill Heineke made that comment. That was reported by Richard Barrow. Let's just see what happens. And just hope things just get better worldwide. Never mind just in Pattaya.
Yeah, let's hope so. Of course, we have Songkran coming next month, and I think the jury's still out on that, isn't it, as to whether or not there's going to be any water fights allowed. I thought I'd read a few months ago that they had banned it again, but then now I'm seeing some articles saying that they're still to make a decision.
Well, the thing is, it isn't just that. It's the people travelling up country and spreading it. Now, where it was Bangkok and these key areas spreading it up country, now it's going to be up country spreading it back down to Bangkok. Yeah. So, I was asked, do you think they put a ban on travel? I said, it's impossible. Impossible at Songkran. People will just break all the rules. Forget it. Yeah.
No, if we do that, we are going back another 10 steps. I mean, we haven't had travel restrictions now for 18 months or so. There's no way that we can go back to that. I mean, that would just be, there would be riots, I think, because I mean, at the end of the day, that was what we had right at the beginning when we had very little understanding of what COVID was and no one was vaccinated. So to go back to a travel ban or travel restrictions of any sort, regardless of how many people are doing it, I think it wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. It would mean Thailand are taking 20 steps backwards and every other country in the world is finally in a position.
I don't think it will happen anyway, because it's a bit crazy to say, listen, welcome everybody from outside, but nobody can travel inside. So it'd be a bit nuts. But anyway, we'll sort of cut things off there. Yeah, hope things get better over the next month, days, hours. Yeah, all over the world. All right, so that's basically as much as we can really say about Pattaya. Lots of interesting stuff going on. Yeah, lots of sad things going on in the world. Yeah, but hopefully Pattaya is gonna pick up. And so any last message?
No, will do. As you say, stay positive, enjoy yourself. And as you say, Pattaya seems to be been getting better. So yeah, okay. All good.
All right, listen, thank you very much, everybody, for watching the Pattaya Report with Craig McAvenny. Once again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, comment, like, and please share, just to spread the word. If there's anything you'd like us to discuss, just drop it in the comments and we'll have a look at it. Have a great period till the next show, which is next week, which will be the Hoi Hin Report. And I'll see you then. Thank you very much. See you later.